In this video, we're going to have a little bit of a look at really how you can get started with Deconstruction Simulator. I am doing this in hindsight. I have everything unlocked, but I'm going to go through some important things to consider, a few tips, and just in general, how the game works and comes together. Okay? So I've tried to shorten it down. It is about 20 minutes long. I will try and put in the captions where certain bits of information are in the video. But let's jump in, let's have a look, and hopefully you enjoy the video. But before we get started, beforehand, thank you for watching. Now, yes, I'm aware. When you start this game, you get this van. Not much to work with, but it gets you started. For the purposes of this video, we're going to use the top van, the biggest one you can get, just to try and speed things up a little bit. But I'm aware that you do start with this one. Okay, so we will head straight off to the first job and see what it's got for us. Do remember, before heading off for a job, take some of these. Now, if you don't know what they're for, you'll find out. But they're really important to take with you and to get a stockpile of back at your warehouse. Okay, so let's go off and we'll see. Oh, I forgot they fixed a bug, so we had to put that away. Okay, so this is the first job. You can literally take everything apart. So immediately we're going to start off with the doors. All you're doing is clicking on the actual hinges and then you can start taking the doors apart. Turning the lights on, getting a real feel for what's actually in the building is quite important. You do have objectives to go with as well. Sometimes the person getting rid of the house does want to keep certain things. So with this one, I believe it was the kitchen cabinet and the kitchen sink cabinet. Everything else, because it's a demolished job, everything else you can absolutely keep. We never ask why there's a hippo in the toilet. Okay, so we're just going to run through some of these things. I'm just going to start pulling stuff out, getting ready to take it all away. Let me show you this, though. This is why I suggested about having boxes. Okay, so this is what the box is for. You take them inside the house, and you get lots of little things. Books, paintings, clocks, kitchenware, shoes, guitars, backpacks, all that kind of stuff. You can actually put them all in these boxes. Okay, you've got to keep going until the box is full. You'll know it's full because this will happen. There you go. Once it's full, it's ready to go back to the warehouse. That box has a worth. We'll have a look at that later on once we're back at the warehouse properly. Now, obviously, if you press the 4 on your keyboard, you get a device, which tells you the rarity of an item, how much it might be worth or could be worth, and you can sort of decide whether it's something you actually want to take. Now, we're going to take some common stuff, some white rarity things. They're not worth a lot, but they happen to pop up quite a lot in the orders. Now, I don't like these shells. I've got like 3 of them, I think, so we don't need any more. So we're just going to get rid of this. If you don't want to take something away, you don't have to. So I already know that we've got some of these back at the warehouse, so we're just going to destroy it and clear some space. Now, windows. Yes, I've got all my equipment is sort of maxed, so everything's very quick. You can literally just pull all the windows out as well. Everything in this game, bar the roofs, are dismantleable. You can take those lights out, and just to show you what's underneath, you can take the plasterboard off, and you can take it back, put it in storage, and sell it. So we're discovering by doing this that this house is made of bricks. You get 2 different types. You get the brick houses, and then you get the houses that have got all the insulation and the wooden timber constructions behind these plasterboards. So what does pop up a lot in the orders, especially for the wealthy clients, is brick orders. So if you're starting the game, I should say, do take a moment to take the bricks out. It's a bit time-consuming, and it's a bit of one of those ones that really make a job take a little bit longer. But if you take the odd brick pallet away, then it's going to serve you better later on in the game, because typically if someone in an order is going to ask for bricks, they're going to want maybe 5, 6, or 7 pallets at least in that one order. Okay, so you can get the brick pallets back. I'll show you that in a little bit, where you get the brick pallets from and what you do with them. But the customer did want to save 2 items, the large kitchen cabinet and the kitchen sink. So we're taking apart the sink just now. Now you'll get into the swing of this. There's a lot of those little sort of blocks that you've got to take out with your chisel. You've literally got to find them all, and then you click every panel. Once you've clicked every panel, it's going to box it up. If a client is wanting to retrieve the items, there will be another van at the location that you are. So keep an eye out for that van. Take apart what's in your objectives and put it in that van. And that will help towards getting you all the money that you're actually due to get from doing the job. And it will help make sure that you maintain at least a 4-star, 5-star rating. You'll see on the left, you can always press the tab key and see your full list of objectives, that's actually everything that the customer wanted retrieved. So as far as the rest of your star rating goes, anything else that's in this house or any house like it is fair game. You can destroy it, dismantle it, take it back to your workshop, sell it out within contracts, etc. It's fair game as long as you finish the objectives. Now, if you were to give up and just think, I'm done, I'm going to complete the contract, I'd only get, what are we at just now? 2.5 stars, and I might get 50 quid if I'm lucky. If you want the full amount of money, you've got to do everything that it's asking you to do. And even though it's the biggest annoyance of this game, the cleanup is where the money is at. And we will be looking at that as well in just a little bit. But we're just going to speed through a few of these things, just to sort of speed up the process, just to get on to the next point. So let's do that now. Okay, so we've got those things put away. Now's time for, arguably, some of the fun stuff. I don't need any of these. I've got some, or I just don't want them, not for the purpose of this video. So now we just get to start breaking everything, because there's 2 parts to completing this job. Taking or destroying all of the items and demolishing the house. And I want to give you a bit of a tip if you're going to manually demolish a house. But in order to start that, we need to clear it of all the normal items. So let's just get them going. So, one tip, if you're going to manually, and by that I mean you're not using the bulldozer, manually empty the building, destroy the items, take the items, do whatever you want with them. Destroy the floors first. Makes life easier in the end, because the floors, I don't know if you can see it at the top left, the floors are counting for part of the demolition progress. Now, if you use a bulldozer, the bulldozer will, if you angle it correctly, destroy the floors for you. This job doesn't pay enough to justify using the bulldozer, so we're going to manually do it. Destroying the floors, I think by the time I was done this, got my percentage up there to around 21%, 22%. So the floors definitely do count towards the demolition. Don't overlook them. And to make your life easier in the long run, I would recommend destroying them first. Now, if you are new to the game and you're picking up the rubbish, which is 3 on your keybinds, if you're picking up the rubbish and you get full bags, put them outside. Because you have to put them down anyway, but put them outside, put them near the van. And I'll explain why that is beneficial, especially in the early stages of you starting this game, in just a little bit. But it is, especially when you're just starting, it is really quite important to take that rubbish with you. But you'll find out why later on in the video. So obviously they're sped up a little bit just to get some stuff back. So you will find in your warehouse this kind of thing. I can't remember the name of it. I can find it out, having a bit of a brain moment. That's where you can purchase the brick pallets. Okay, and we're going to show you just a little bit. I touched on this towards the start of the video, that it was actually quite important you get some, especially if you want to do the contracts. So let's have a little bit of a look on how to actually get the brick process done. So if you take a pallet inside with you, 5 on your keybinds pulls out hammer and chisel. Mallet, if you want to be pedantic about it. Once you've exposed those bricks, they've got a greyish texture to them. Doing this process allows you to pick them up. You can't do anything with these bricks other than destroy them with a sledgehammer until you've used the mallet and the chisel. So I just assume this is taking off the loose concrete, blah blah. So as you can see, there's some patterns you've got to go at. It's a bit time consuming. This brick removal process is time consuming. But if you're a completionist and you want to really take apart a building, this is how you do it. As you can see, each wall is made up in a certain way, and you'll get into the swing of it. You'll absolutely get into the swing of it, and you'll just be on autopilot by the end of it. So in order to do it, you put that away, you press 1 to get your normal hands back, and you can... I didn't discover this until quite into playing this game. My community laughed at me a little bit for it. You can actually pick up multiple bricks. I was taking apart these walls, singular brick by singular brick, and my goodness, did it take some time. But you can actually pick up 5 bricks and place those 5 bricks, which does help speed things up. Now, as you can see, you'll immediately, it does it all for you. You'll start layering up those bricks to a point where they'll end up with the straps on, which shows that they're ready to go back to base, and that's a full pallet. There we go. And then you could put that aside, carry on going, which is what I'm going to do. I brought all of these. I fill all of these pallets, but I'm not going to make you watch that. This is just an actual example of what you do and how you do it, and actually why it's quite important. Again, we'll look at why towards the end of the video. You know, really what doing all of this actually means as part of playing this game. So, forgive me, I actually took out... I filled all of those pallets, and as you can see, we're getting them outside, so I just deleted that section off instead of speeding up, because I don't want to make this a very, very long video. This is the part where the demolition comes in. Okay, you can go from the top of the walls, middle of the walls, do whatever you want. But whether that wall stays up or not comes down to whether you just take the bottom bricks out. So you can literally take those bottom bricks out, and the whole wall will crumble. Now, what I'd recommend, personally, is clean up as you go, especially on a manual deconstruction. because you get the majority of the money from the job from the cleanup. And actually, when you look at an entire building site of rubble, it's not going to fill you with much enthusiasm, because developers, please bring in a way where we can speed this process up a little, or whether like you pay for a bulldozer or you can pay for like a grabber which grabs it all and speeds that process up a little bit. I'm not on about making the game quicker. Obviously there'd be a financial penalty for doing that, but something, because the cleanup process is quite demoralizing, I'm not going to lie to you. So ultimately, time to bring the building down, take out the bottom layers of bricks. Wooden features I'll show you in another video, because there is a very different way to handle those walls. Let's speed this up a little bit, we'll move on. Okay, so now as you can see on the left, I've got both green icons lit up, which means everything's destroyed, the building's class is demolished. Now we're going to go to the cleanup. You keep picking pieces up until you hear that noise there. That will tell you that the whole job is done. It's got 1 of 1. There we go. So all of those rubbish bags, like I mentioned earlier on, are important, especially when you're just starting, because money's quite difficult to come by, especially when you first get started. So you may or may not have realized that each day you have maintenance cost. You lose money for the fuel that you need to top up on. There's a daily warehouse charge and any other little random things. So you're guaranteed to lose at least 50 quid a day, depending on how much you use the van, etc. Now, taking those rubbish items back gets you a little bit of money back. I think it's like 25 quid per one. And actually, as you can see from a reasonably small building, there's enough there to definitely get, I'm just guessing, a couple of £100 back, which means that actually you're not going to lose money. Instead, you'll make a little bit of money. And that, as I said, when you're just starting off, makes all the difference as to the momentum that you can capture moving forward. Now, end game, I've got near enough everything unlocked. I don't bother with the rubbish because it's a time versus money, and when you're making thousands in the orders and stuff, the £100-200 that you might get for the recycling and the rubbish there, just it isn't worth the time that it is to pick it up when you can just move on and just carry on selling stuff. But early doors in the game, pick up that rubbish, recycling, get it back to your warehouse, and I'll show you where it goes. In case it wasn't obvious, when you get back, new day. Typical. So you can see here, gasoline, 120 bucks, and the warehouse charge 50. When you get back, immediately to your left, this is what this recycling thing is here. Anything that you want gone, it disappears at the start of every day, or at the end of every day. So we're going to get all of these out, and at the end of today, which I will show you what I mean, it'll all disappear, and you'll get a bit of extra money back for the things that you put in there. Now, you can dispose of other items that you don't want in your warehouse, but I don't actually know if you get anything for it, to be totally honest. And if you do, it will probably be very little. So the job is done. We need to complete that contract on the computer. But the job is finished, and we're not going back, because we've got the bricks in the back, which I might speed up putting them back. But we're getting all the recycling out to dispose of that. Let me speed up the brick process so we can show you the final part. So here we go. That's all my bricks. So what were 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. So we got 11 pallets of bricks. That's going to be quite useful should a contract pop up. So now that's all done. The job is finished. We have to finalize it. So we're going to head over to the computer. Well, actually, no, I'm proving a point here. I forgot about this. Look at that. We got 300 bucks for the waste recycling, and we lost 50 quid for the rent. So we're up 250. Okay. That's why in the early doors, it can be quite important to save your rubbish. So heading over to the computer, we're having a look, right? We picked up some armchairs from there, and we got a toilet. I actually think that the toilet that's required for this one wasn't from that building, but this is what you can look at once you've finished your first couple of jobs. Pick up a contract. The computer will tell you if you have the items. You hire the right size van, and you put those items in the van. So as you can see, I got confused about the toilet there. So we go and find the right one. Thankfully, I already had one. So that armchair in there, get the toilet in there. You can see them getting lit up in green on the left when you've got the correct ones. Back over to the computer. Back into orders, middle, and complete the order. The van will disappear out your warehouse, and you've made that money. Now, money from the contract, here we go, that's being completed as well. Eventually, Michael, thank you, the money from the contract, any monies from orders, and any money from recycling all gets delivered to you the next day. So this is another one. We did get all the items from this house for this job, for this order. So it's a rare quality client, I think it was. So we're going to get $207 for this. So it requires a blue quality door, which was the first door that we took off in that building. Now you can angle them. You press R to do an angle. There was a large window. We definitely took one of those out. We took a large and a small window from that house. And that standard quality TV is one that we took from the house as well. In the van, shut the door, off we go. And the job's done. This is the nuts and bolts of the game. Okay? All these other contracts, as you can see here, if it's highlighted in blue, we have the item. If it's not, we don't, and we can't do the contract. Okay? This is why I wanted to explain. This is one for a small items box, number 117. Okay? Remember those boxes that I mentioned to you at the start of the video? That one small box is worth over half the amount of all the other items we just put in the last van. So those boxes do add up to quite a bit of value. So don't overlook them. Don't ignore them. Make sure you've got a stockpile. End the day, warehouse rent, $50, and we're $1,190 in the bank for handing in the job and doing those contracts. Put things into comparison. That's actually how much that van that you start with actually cost. Okay, so it all adds up. Then effectively, this is just rinse and repeat. Okay, so any questions, please put them in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video and you found it somewhat useful, please let me know. And if you would consider subscribing and making sure you get the notifications, I would be grateful for that as well. But I really like this game. I'm going to do more videos on it. Join me next time. And like I said, if you've got questions or comments, I'll make videos on what you guys want to see about this game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.